UFC Fight Night Yan versus Figueiredo takes place this Saturday, and these are my main card predictions. Starting off with the main event, we've got Petr Yan versus Deiveson Figueiredo. What a fight this is. If you remember way back when Yan was the bantamweight champion and Figueiredo was the flyweight champion, this was a fight that everybody wanted to see. Now we're a few years removed from that, but this is still a really high level matchup and one I cannot wait to see. Now Figueiredo is a fully fledged bantamweight now. Arguably deserves to be fighting for the title right now, let's be honest. He's beat Rob Font, who's ranked inside the top 10, Cody Garbrandt, a former bantamweight champion, and most recently Chito Vera, who is a former UFC bantamweight title challenger. On the other side, you get Petr Yan, who made his return, got a win at UFC 299 over Song Yudong. He did look impressive in there. He did get injured though, and we haven't seen him since. This right here is a big one for the bantamweight division, because if Figueiredo is able to beat Petr Yan, he deserves to fight for the belt over Umar Nurmagomedov. If Umar Nurmagomedov versus Merab isn't announced by Saturday and Figueiredo beats Petr Yan, Umar Nurmagomedov has to be put on the back burner. I don't care who his cousin is. I don't care what his second name is. Figueiredo would then be on a 4-fight win streak in the bantamweight division. And I've already read out some of the names he's beaten. Adding Petr Yan to that, he would 100% deserve to fight for the title. Unfortunately, I don't think that's going to happen though. I am going to pick Petr Yan to win this matchup. Couple of reasons why. Deiveson Figueiredo, this is over 5 rounds, and I feel like Deiveson Figueiredo will struggle over 5 rounds because Yan isn't going to go anywhere. He's got great cardio, and Petr Yan grows into the fight. I feel like Figueiredo will struggle in the later rounds to keep up with Petr Yan. Deiveson Figueiredo, yes, I mean, everyone was curious, will his power translate from flyweight up to bantamweight, and we're yet to see any knockouts as he's been fighting in the bantamweight division, but he did just drop Chito Vera, who's got a crazy chin in his last matchup, so the power does translate. I think we can all agree with that now. But this is my issue with this matchup. Like I said, 5 rounds, it definitely favours Petr Yan. He is a 5-round fighter. But I don't think Deiveson Figueiredo's grappling will have that much of effect on Petr Yan. I don't think Figueiredo will be able to take down Yan and hold him there. I don't see him being able to get, say, on Yan's back like Aljo did and ride out the round, controlling him there. I don't think Figueiredo will be able to do that. I feel like this fight will predominantly take place on the feet. I feel like Figgy will probably win the first 2 rounds, but I think by the start of round 3, maybe mid-round 3, 4 and 5, Yan will then make the correct adjustments, and I feel like this will more than likely end up being a boxing match, and Yan is just the superior boxer in my opinion out of himself and Figueiredo. I don't think Yan's going to knock out Figgy, although there is a possibility when Figgy does start to fade in the later rounds, because Yan might not be the most heavy-handed bantamweight, but the guy does carry power. I mean, just look at some of the knockouts he's got. I feel like he might be able to crack and hurt Figueiredo, maybe end around 4, start around 5, but my prediction for this matchup is going to be Petr Yan. I feel like he will win this by decision. And then what's next for Yan? Even though he's beat Figgy, who is arguably the number 1 contender right now in the bantamweight division, he still will need one more big win in my opinion, because let's not forget, Yan did fight Merab, and Merab really comfortably beat him. And I don't think we've seen anything out of Yan since that Merab fight that would make you think any different. What I would love to see personally is if Yan is able to beat Figueiredo, Yan versus Umar Nurmagomedov, although that does slow up the bantamweight division, and we won't see Merab, and I kind of don't want Merab to hold the belt for that long, to be honest, but then Umar might win the belt, and then the bantamweight division is just fucking destroyed. But yeah, my prediction is Yan to win this by decision. Next up in the co-main event, we have got Yan Xiaonan versus Tabitha Ricci. I'm going to go for Yan Xiaonan in this matchup. If you remember way back your UFC 300 matchup, which was crazy, against the current champion Zhang Weili, she was choked out unconscious, woke back up, nearly got the victory. Yao Xiaonan will win this matchup. I don't know if she'll get the finish. I'm going to say no. I think it does go to a decision, but I do think she wins comfortably, unanimously. It's crazy the UFC are back in China and Zhang Weili isn't on the card. Whoever made that decision, you need to be charged with war crimes, because that's just a fucking joke. Next up on the card, we have got Song Kanan versus Muslim Salikov. Song Kanan, if you remember way back when, he was the one that had Ian Gary hurt badly in their matchup. 21-8 doesn't seem like a great record, but I think he's better than what his record is, to be honest. But Muslim Salikov is going to win this matchup, in my opinion. Next up, we go down to... She might have the most aura in the women's division right now. Wang Kong versus Gabriela Fernandez. Wang Kong obviously coming off that big knockout in their last fight. We need the face paint at the weigh-ins. We need you to win by knockout. We need some hype in the women's division. She is currently 6-0. I don't know if she will get a knockout in this matchup, to be honest. I do expect her to win. Will she get a KO? No. I'm probably going to say she wins by decision, to be honest. Although if she gets a KO, the hype is real for Wang Kong. Even though I think she'll get a decision, but she'll win fairly comfortably in there against Gabriela Fernandez. I think she will put a beating on her. Might not KO her, but will beat her up badly. It'll still be a good performance for us as the viewers to watch. Next up, which, to be honest, I understand they're in China, but I'm surprised this isn't the co-main event. Volkan Oezdemir versus Carlos Ulberg. This one right here is really interesting in my opinion, and I'm probably going to go for the underdog in Volkan Oezdemir. Now, Carlos Ulberg is training out of City Kickboxing. You know some of the names they've had: Dan Hooker, Israel Adesanya, Volkanovski. And Carlos Ulberg is the next up-and-comer in that gym. Obviously 11-1 as a pro fighter. He did lose his UFC debut to Kennedy Nzechukwu, if I remember correctly. He got knocked out in that matchup, but has looked good ever since that. And City Kickboxing, this is a guy that they're going to be getting behind. It's a guy I think the UFC are going to get behind because he is a pure striker and very promotable. And if you can get him close to that Pereira fight, I think that is a big matchup because of the ties to Israel Adesanya and City Kickboxing. Carlos Ulberg, Alex Pereira, I feel like that could be a big fight. In the light heavyweight division, I can't see a world where Carlos Ulberg will win this. I can see why he is the favourite, but I feel like Volkan Oezdemir is the guy, the gatekeeper, the guy who can fraud check these people. And it's not as if Carlos Ulberg has looked invincible. We've seen him be cracked before. Kennedy Nzechukwu is a big puncher. Volkan Oezdemir is a bigger puncher in my opinion. I feel like Volkan Oezdemir will probably be losing this fight. I feel like Carlos Ulberg will do a good job standing on the outside, picking with kicks and stuff like that. Obviously, if Volkan Oezdemir does rush in, Carlos Ulberg is very heavy-handed. We've seen that in his last fight against Alonzo Menifield, where he put him out very quick inside the first round. I feel like Volkan Oezdemir, though, is a step up. And I don't know, I just have this envision where they're going to be clinched up, and on the break, Oezdemir's just going to plant the right one right in his chin and drop him. I don't think he's going to knock him out cold, but I feel like he's going to go down and just start landing some vicious ground and pound. I don't think he's going to be out. I think he'll be maybe holding to a leg or something, and the referee will give him a chance, but then we'll just be like, nah, you've had enough, you've taken enough damage. I'm taking Volkan Oezdemir here. I can't see a world where Carlos Ulberg does win. I understand why he is the favourite. He is a much better technical striker than what Volkan Oezdemir is, but I feel like Volkan will find his chin in there, and I feel like he'll knock him out either late second round, early third round. And finally, Zhang Ming Yang versus Ozzy Diaz. Look at this fight. See, to be fair, this fight is filled with Chinese prospects, and this is a good thing. Now, a lot of these guys have came off road to the UFC, and some of their records and the names that they faced out there and the Chinese promotions are a bit suspect, to be honest, but Zhang Ming Yang is going to win this matchup. I'm fairly certain of that one, to be honest. Overall, this fight night card is great in my opinion, especially the main card. There are some really good matchups on there. The main event is great. The co-main event is also a good one. I'm looking forward to seeing Wang Kong back in there and Carlos Ulberg, Volkan Oezdemir. This right here, this could be, I don't think it's going to be fight of the night. I think main event will be, but this right here, I'm expecting a big knockout from Volkan in there. Let me know what you think of UFC Fight Night Yan versus Figueiredo. And as always, like, share, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff. And I will see you again in the next one.